Select a mission.
Hello everyone, I'm Condor K, and welcome back to my, welcome to my 3-part finale for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Just to get this out of the way, I finished The Phantom Pain, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I don't remember. It's because my sister, I think I've said this before, but I just want to clarify it here, who watched me play all the Metal Gear games was over here where I am, so while she was here I just basically bum rushed the game in like 4 days or something like that. I don't remember. And it was a ton of fun. Got to experience the game with her and all that stuff. It was great. So, but for what's the word? Completionist's sake, I guess, because I don't just want to end the Metal Gear Solid 5 Let's Play video series on my channel randomly. I'm just gonna do these 3 key final story missions and talk about them and the ending of the game. So these 3 videos are gonna have a lot of spoilers, each relevant to the moments at hand. So this video is gonna be dealing with Mission 31, which is the end of the Skullface story, revenge storyline of Part 1, which caps off with the boss fight against Metal Gear Sahelanthropus. This is gonna be awesome. I will be hitting on a lot of, well, I mean, I don't really think it matters if I do something like out of order, like if I mention something that doesn't get covered now until later, because the game's done. I finished it, and as I said, this is spoiler filled, so if you want to know the end to Metal Gear Solid 5, play it yourself. Finish it yourself. Or keep watching, who cares? But yeah, one of the big things, which is the most obvious one anyway, I mean, I don't know if they could count as plot twists or reveals since almost everybody knew, was that Eli here is actually Liquid Snake. Like, young Liquid Snake. And the floating boy, the psycho kid, the third boy, whatever you call him, is Psycho Mantis. That's pretty much like, who wouldn't know that, right? I mean, just like if you have experience with Metal Gear, if you played all of them before, and you know this, that, the other thing, it's easy to make the connection. So anyway, what happened here I think was quite funny, because the end of the previous chapter, where you after your chat with Skullface, Sahelanthropus starts moving on his own and he freaks out. He's like, why is it's not obeying my command anymore? And it turns out that, man, Eli just has the most childish reaction to being bested by Snake twice in a fist fight. He's so upset that he lost that he hijacks a gigantic walking mecha weapon and tries to step on Snake with it. Like, if that's not the most incredible childish temper tantrum, then I don't know what is. Like, seriously, man, what a brat.
Wait.
And the Man of Fire just got stepped on. Bye bye. Oh, and that guy got stepped on too. I'm noticing a trend.
Such a lust for revenge. Oh!
Trust me, you don't want to know. Kid's a brat. But yeah, another cool thing about the third boy that we learned through some cassette tapes and all that stuff is that he's actually not really in control of his actions, so to speak. Most of what he does is because he's being controlled by someone else's emotions. So when the tail end of his cloak is on fire, that means that the man on fire is controlling him. In this case, he has a little handkerchief on his arm. That would mean that Liquid's controlling him, Eli, but as we learned in another discussion, it's more like Liquid or Eli and Psycho Kid are working together, so to speak. It's symbiotic, I think is the word that Kaz uses, or Miller. I mean, or Ocelot. One of them said it in the thing. It's funny because this is one of the, I saw this scene in one of the trailers, and it's always funny seeing things in the trailer and then playing the game, or watching, or whatever, and you find out that scene you saw is like from the end of the game. So it's like, whoa, they just showed that off like right at the beginning. But yeah, and so on. One thing that I read, because I read the, after I finished the game, the first thing I did was read the TV tropes for Metal Gear Solid 5. Because that's what I do. I love reading TV tropes. one thing that I mentioned in regards to the third boy, it specified that when he's being controlled by Snake, he has a horn. And I'm like, the third boy was never controlled by Snake. Ever. But I replayed, what's it called? Did I replay it or did I watch it? No, I replayed, no, I watched it, okay. I watched the first mission again, just cause. I was actually watching someone let's play it. And, yeah, sure enough, the third boy has Snake's horn at 2 scenes. The first one is right before he summons the giant fire whale, and the second one is towards the end. Like, when Snake comes to in the river and sees him. And that's it. Weird. I like how we have Pequod, the first pilot, and then Queed, the second pilot. Someone picked the short straw when it came to choosing names. Although I learned later that Queed is actually another Moby Dick reference. Just like Pequod and Ishmael and Ahab. And all the nonsense here. Kojima has a thing for Moby Dick. But, yeah. I thought this was really funny because when I was sneaking into OKB-0 to meet with Skullface, it was actually quite... It was a rough mission. When I first played it, I was spotted and I actually ended up having to shoot the fuck out of everything. The second time I played it, I did better. Still not amazing, but better. But it's funny because when Skullface and Snake were riding back here, so that Skullface could show him Sahelanthropus and everything, we were joined by like a gigantic army convoy, tanks, armored vehicles, helicopters, all over the place. I'm like, where were all of you while I was breaking into OKB-0? Oh, this is so cool. Seriously, that's awesome. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. A lot of people said that the Skullface Snake scene when they're in the car driving here and it's like quiet, you know, because no one's saying anything, is awkward. I don't think so. It was, I got why it was silent, and actually, I don't know, it didn't bug me at all. Like, I mean, he just dropped a massive load of ridiculous stuff on us in regards to what he was talking about. And, you know, as much as I love Skullface's voice, so I love just, whoa. Jeez. I love listening to him talk, I like his voice. Damn, it kicked that tank like it's a toy. Once again, childish temper tantrum. Oopsie. I fell on him. Oh yeah, also, I'm totally covered in blood because, you know, you kill a lot of people, the horn grows longer, and you're always covered in blood. I've been trying to get rid of it for a while, and it doesn't work. It just stays there. I don't like it. I mean, it's cool at first, but it mutes all the colors of all his outfits. Like, I have a pink outfit now, and I can't enjoy the fact that it's pink because he's so bloody.
Cypher will rewrite the records, and I will vanish from human memory. But the thirst for revenge that I have planted will infest the system. No one can stop it now. Sahelanthropus will unleash that thirst onto the future. Major, I'm burning up!
How right he was. Erased from human memory indeed. That easily explains why he was never hurt, why they never mentioned him in the other games, in addition to the fact that he was only created for this game. But you know, being able to explain canon details that way in canon is, you know, pretty cool. And it's true, I mean, the Patriots, they become capable of controlling all information ever, so...
Skullface will have won. His plans will become reality. He won't even need to use nukes. That thing's mere existence would be enough to enslave humanity to the fear of nuclear Armageddon. It would tear the world apart.
Uh-oh. Drive, Snake, drive! Drive! Not like that. God damn it, Snake. Then again, if you've seen me drive, which I think, I don't know if I did enough in my videos I did upload, you'd know that that's pretty realistic. I would definitely have crashed the car 15 times over. Anyway, when I first fought Sahelanthropus, it was pretty rough. Obviously, because it was my first time fighting him and all that stuff. And I didn't have the... I had a really cool rocket launcher. It's the FMBRM whatever. It's stronger than the Grom 11, though. And it just... It was alright. But this thing right here that I have now is, like, superior in every single way. It tricked me. I think it's called CGM. This weapon is actually weaker than the Grom 11. I mean, the other one. But... it fires, like, 6 shots at once. So that makes up for it. So it makes this fight way faster than ever before. And it also blows up this thing's head like almost instantly. So that's cool. Which I didn't know that was an objective when I first fought Sahelanthropus. And there I go stepping into the fucking rocks accidentally. I actually completed episode 50, which is Sahelanthropus Extreme, where the boss fight's basically harder. Like, you'll die faster, and the boss has more HP, so it'll take longer to kill him. I had a hard time beating that one at first when I was using the FMB whatever. Then I changed up to use this one, and it was so easy. 3 tries and I was done. And I got a ton of money. I think I got like almost $1 million for completing the objective. Of course, that's before they took away money for, you know, support costs and everything, since the chopper has to fly in and shoot stuff. But, also this cool grenade launcher has a bunch of rounds in it, so that's cool. Yeah, the extreme boss fight's also pretty cool because Sahelanthropus gets a new color scheme. Like a lot of black and white. All over instead of just being metal like it is. Which is pretty awesome. Also, you can blow up parts of Sahelanthropus, which doing so, like, deals a pretty sizable chunk of damage to him. So it's really handy. As opposed to just shooting in the same place over and over again. Yeah, his whip attack is not that bad because it only heads in the direction that the whip goes. But his stab attack is terrible because it just, I don't know how you're supposed to tell what it does. Sometimes it'll create those blue things to show you where the rocks are gonna pop up. But sometimes the rocks pop up chasing you, like following you. Sometimes they pop up in front of you, and sometimes the second he stabs it down, it just creates a ring of rocks all around you and traps you in there. At which point, like that, you have to shoot them to blow them up and run out. And it's just, there's no way to tell, and it's really annoying because in Extreme, those rocks can kill you in like one hit. It depends on the situation, but they're the reason that I failed the mission so much. The stupid damn rocks that I could never avoid. Not to mention that in Extreme, if he jumps on you, it kills you instantly. Which I guess would make sense, because he's a gigantic machine. But the problem is that he just jumps, and it's like, I don't know how to dodge it the best. So it just crushes me, and it makes me really upset. I tried to let the boss fight go a little bit longer here, because I wanted him to jump at me. When he's really weak, he'll do this cool jump where he jumps right at you in slow motion, and he aims his giant like plasma cannon at you, and then the third boy like comes down on you, Psycho Mantis, in super slow-mo, and then you can blast him in the face. That stuff's really awesome. It's a really awesome thing to do. And there we go. Fuck you, Eli. Fuck you. So yeah, this went by much quicker simply because I had to fight Sahelanthropus Extreme so many times that normal Sahelanthropus is like nothing. Nothing at all. Which is good because, goddamn. Also, I like the touch of the stupid little goats here. Always good for a laugh. But, yeah. So there we go. I just smashed up Sahelanthropus. Of course, I made it look easy because, once again, I've had a bunch of experience. But when I first played it was not that simple. It was a lot of me and my sister screaming and being like, I don't know what I'm doing, and it's killing me, help me. And Pequod got shot down at one point. It was a mess. Straight up mess. Anyway, with Sahelanthropus out, all that leaves is Skullface to deal with.
Snake!
So something about Skullface here. When you get to Skullface, they kind of pan the camera out to allow you time to shoot him, should you want to. And when I first did, I didn't, because I actually thought you could bring Skullface back to Mother Base, because there's a cutscene from one of the trailers where Skullface is on Mother Base. And I'm like, what leads to that? Is he like invading? Did he win? Did they have to show him his place? Why is he there? So I didn't shoot him, and it triggered a different scene, or at least I thought it did. It turns out that regardless of whether you shoot him or not, the game proceeds as it does. But shooting him gives you a short little thing that you'll see me do. When I first did it, when I played the Sahelanthropus before, I shot him a bunch of times, but it was always the same, so this time I just shoot him once. Doesn't really do anything until the story says, okay. Which is fine with me, because I greatly prefer what the story does. Also, Huey's a piece of shit. Just saying that now. One thing that I definitely learned over the course of the game is that Huey is the biggest monster in this game. Possibly bigger than Skullface. Ugh, man, he looks like shit. I never really got how hideous Skullface looked until this scene. This whole last part.
There were 3. Where's the other?
Very close to you.
I was honestly wondering what that's supposed to mean. I'm like, where's the third one? It was something that me and my sister talked about a bit at the end of this part. We're like, where is it? We need to know. Luckily, they told us almost immediately afterwards. Uh-oh, magic. Yeah, I thought that was bullshit. It's like people have this weird sense with Psycho Kid. Like, maybe they know he's there, or maybe they don't. But it's always when he's doing the worst possible things that no one's aware that he's around. In this case, taking one of the strains of the English vocal cord parasites. Asshole. He wants me to kill him? Fucking kill him. Let's do it. I'm excited. And that's all it does. I've shot him 2 more times before, and it just continues showing that. It's cool, but, you know. Oh, seriously, he looks like a mess. It's disgusting. Jeez. Now that's vengeance. Ugh. I thought that the gun ran out of ammo at first. Turns out it was put on safety. My sister told me that after the fact.
Do it yourself.
It's amazing how bitter Kaz sounds this entire game. Like, I get it, but still, it's just like, whoa. He's clearly an upset man.
Mission complete, boss.
Indeed, 31 episodes of this, and we're done. Take that, Skullface.
Kill me! Kill me! I did it! Revenge!
Fuck you, Huey. Mission done, and there is my... what's it called? Grade, and all that stuff. Right. Did pretty well. Yeah. I upgraded my chopper to full, thinking it would help me more with Sahelanthropus Extreme. It didn't really. I ended up doing most of the heavy lifting myself. So it costs a lot of GMP now just to use my chopper. I'll probably end up downgrading it again, because I don't really use it for much. I don't bombard things or anything. Not a lot, so there's kind of no point to it. Mission complete, and we head back home. To the base of Mothers, with that piece of shit kid Eli.
Anyone can give up his fight by laying down arms. But the feeling of holding a gun, that we'll never forget. Like our lost limbs, the sensation lingers.
And here we have Huey going crazy.
Here she comes!
I forget if it was, I think it was Kaz or Miller. Oh, Dee Dee! Who was all like, Miller's got some, Huey's got some obsession with Sahelanthropus. Huey's just all sorts of messed up. It's really hard to believe considering all we know about Otacon. But, or maybe it actually makes more sense about Otacon. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to think that Huey was such a piece of shit specifically because he looks and has the same voice actor as Otacon. So it's like you couldn't really, I found it really hard to separate Hal from Huey. But as the game went on and Huey did more and more stupid things, it was like, no, yeah, Huey, you suck. All that hate that I hear you getting all the time, you definitely suck. So, I mean, what did he do? Well, he did betray us to Cypher. Turns out that was true. He, stuffed his wife in an AI pod and let her suffocate to death while he put Hal in the cockpit of Sahelanthropus to test if a kid could use it. And he mutated the vocal cord parasite strain to lead to one of the most amazing and emotional missions in this game. Shining lights even in death. All that, and he was finally exiled from Mother Base.
We hold our rifles in missing hands. We stand tall on missing legs. We stride forward on the bones of our fallen. Then, and only then, are we alive. This pain is ours, and no one else's. The secret weapon we wield, out of sight. we will be stronger than ever. For our peace. Sahelanthropus will unleash that thirst unto the future. Those were his last words.
Cause?
Pretentious to the end. Still, doesn't feel like this is over. And I'll never be whole again.
Quite a surprising thing to read, huh? Or at least very interesting. That's my favorite thing about Metal Gear, is that it always brings us back around to real life. You know, even starting with Metal Gear Solid and the end thing talking about Salt 2 and nuclear weapons in the world and all that. I believe it was Salt 2 it was referencing. It's really cool. What's Eli gonna do with that? Spoiler alert. Is not good. And there we have it. That is the end of part 1, or chapter 1 of Metal Gear Solid 5 Revenge. Now, I'm going to talk about what happens with Eli simply because of Konami and all the stupid shit that was going on behind the scenes. The game is not finished, you know, it's missing some story things. And one of those is Eli. The last time we see Eli, he and all the other kids that we rescued from the mine in that other mission back in the day, which I actually ended up not uploading it. But they run away from Mother Base with Sahelanthropus, which they repaired thanks to Huey. Once again, Huey's a piece of shit. And they leave, and we never find out. There's no mission to go get them back or see what happens. It turns out, though, that we do know details of that episode, which I believe is supposed to be episode 51, Kingdom of the Flies. And basically, Eli sets up his own little nation on an island with the other child soldiers in Sahelanthropus, and the Diamond Dogs go in. Eli has the last of the English vocal cord strain. Can't let that be out in the wild. That's a bad thing. So, you know, I hate the child soldiers. Like, I rescued them from the mine, and they repay us by being complete dickbags and taking Sahelanthropus and running away with one of our pilots. Because why? Fuck them, you know? I hope you can shoot them in that episode or something, and you won't just automatically fail. Which it turns out, you could actually kill those children. You could kill children originally. It would just take away a lot of heroism, but you could do it. You know, it wouldn't game you over. And it turns out, to my understanding, what happens as a result of Kingdom of the Flies is, of course, Sahelanthropus is destroyed for good. Apparently, it's somehow caught in the crossfire. Something happens, all the kids are killed. If not all of them, most of them are. And Eli falls victim to the vocal cord parasites. And I think he's left for dead. Although, of course, Psycho Kid, I think, removes the parasites from his body and takes Eli with him, and they vanish. Probably to set up Foxhound and Liquid Rise to Power and everything else that happens in the future leading to Metal Gear Solid 1. So yeah, that's basically Kingdom of the Flies, as far as I know. I might have missed something or other somewhere, simply because I actually haven't looked at the footage or any of the things in regards. So I'll probably do that after the fact. I should have done that earlier. But from what I understand, that's what happens. And, you know, my favorite part about that is that the children and soldiers do in fact die. You know, I don't have a soft spot for kids. I don't. I fucking murder them all the time. I'm cool with that. So, like, seriously. Fuck them. Anyway. That is all in regards to this and the end of Skullface's story. I don't think there's much else I can talk about. Because I want to save the other important stuff for the other 2 videos coming out, which round out the other 2 endings of the game, basically. I had a lot of fun with Metal Gear Solid 5, I will say that now. Like, I'll get more on the, like, aftermath and everything about it in the 3rd video, but I'll just say it right now. Fantastic fucking game. And as always, thank you, Kojima, and fuck Konami.
Attention! Diamond Dogs! Even with Skullface dead, our brothers are unavenged. And the phantom pain he brought us lives on. Cypher is still out there. We know they've planted spies, parasites among us. Watch the man to your left, to your right. Assume nothing. Report everything. It's the only way to protect ourselves. From here on out, you will be my eyes. The deadliest enemy's right here in our midst. And they will get no mercy.